my next guest is one of my all-time favourite interviews. Born a Nigerian prince, he grew up in the UK and now lives in Hollywood. He's best known for his breakthrough role as Martin Luther King Jr. in the film Selma. He's now taking on a Victor Hugo classic. David Oyelowo, welcome to the Weekly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, you are starring in the BBC adaptation of Les Mis. Mm-hmm. Now, you play Javert, who is obsessed with Jean Valjean, but it's the book, not the musical.
Right.
Were you ever tempted, though, to break into song, a bit of I Dreamed a Dream at any point? You're in costume. Not even your character's song, but come on.
In the trailer, maybe. in the trailer, before I hit the set.
And so what is it about that book from the 1800s that is impenetrable to people who are used to reading tweets?
Right.
What is it that makes it still relevant today?
Because it looks at socioeconomics, it looks at the prison industrial complex, it looks at revolution and protest, it looks at incarceration, it looks at redemption, it looks at all things that are very hot-button subjects. I mean, Jean Valjean, as played by Dominic West in this show, represents someone who is relegated to the scrap heap of society for a crime that he committed, which is ridiculous in a way. 19 years for a loaf of bread. I mean, I live in America and there are people who are enduring, along racial and socioeconomic lines, sentences that are not commensurate at all with the crimes they're supposed to have committed. So that's a parallel right there.
Don't look at me! On your knees and stay there! Discipline must be maintained. Otherwise, civilization would collapse.
So how deep did you go? Because I was reading when you were playing Martin Luther King Jr. that you actually, you went all in. You stayed in character, even offset. What was that like, first off, being MLK in everyday life?
That's a question you should ask my wife more than me. Because by 3 months in, it felt completely natural. I gained 35 pounds for that. Towards the end, the moobs, as the man boobs were not really something she was too pleased about.
A lot of people thought that you should have been nominated for an Oscar for that role, and it started a larger discussion about diversity within the Oscars. Throughout all of that, was it just unfair? Like, were you just thinking, can't I just be upset I didn't get nominated for an Oscar? I don't want to be part of a movement right now.
It's true, but I will say, you know, 5 years on from when it came out, it started Oscar So White, the Academy had to change, and the landscape has changed. Not, you know, not because of Selma, but Selma was part of a movement. You know, I am proud that a film about discrimination around voting addressed discrimination around voting within the Academy. So you could argue the film did what it was meant to do.
Now, there's some incredible footage of you at the Oscars next to Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
And she wipes a tear away from your cheek. Is that where she gets her power from?
From my tears.
From the tears of great actors and great colleagues. Is that what it is?
That's where I make my money, bottling my tears.
There's one thing I have to ask about.
Yes.
All right. There is a lot of talk about you being a potential James Bond. Would you like that kind of role? Because it's not like you did MLK going, well, I can't wait to do the sequels.
We all know how it ends.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's be honest. I think the word "like" is the operative word there. A role like it, yes. Do I need to do that franchise? Probably not. But I just love the fact that there is conversation around someone like me getting to do something like that. That has not been the case in the more recent history.
So maybe not James Bond, maybe a different alcoholic pants man. Saving the world. Saving the world.
That's a great elevator pitch, by the way. I'm taking that with me. I want to be an what did you call it?
Alcoholic pants man saving the world.
Alcoholic pants man. What's a pants man?
Prolific pork swordsman.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Unfortunately, we are out of time. That is the note we are forced to end on.
We're going to end on the pork sword?
Well, I mean, I'm getting a wrap-up from your people.
I can't believe it. I did a show that was written by Victor Hugo, or based on Victor Hugo, and we're going to end on a pork sword.
David, Les Mis will be streaming on Foxtel. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Complete pleasure. Ah, yes, elevator pitch.